In a bit. So I created this thing called the Elvis series, and I exported other people on the fashion runway. And initially, I went online. I was looking for a fashion show for seniors. There was nothing, and I was wondering why. So I said, let me do something about it. And when that happened, I never thought, it would change my life, but it did. And I'll tell you how I got here. It wasn't a prompt. I literally had to train data sets. I literally had to refine data sets as well, so we could have actual Africans, traditional clothing, fashion properly. Let me let you catch the video. And the craziest thing happened when I develop this thing. I never thought it would go viral. I never thought that it would go as far as, my life changed after this project. The day I posted this on LinkedIn and Instagram, this happened.
A Nigerian artist is generating buzz with his computer-generated works. Malik Afegbua used three different...
Malik Afegbua, you might have...
With his images of a fashion show of senior citizens.
Or the seniors suffer from the lack of representation.
Nigerian-based filmmaker and artist Malik Afegbua was inspired to create what looked like a real catwalk.
Overlooked the images forces audiences to see the African elderly from a different perspective.
In harnessing the enormous power of storytelling to shift mindsets and evoke emotions regardless of the medium.
Malik Afegbua, who is the CEO of Smart City Media.
Using artificial intelligence, Malik Afegbua creates powerful images showing elderly Africans on an imaginary runway.
I never thought, let me go back a bit.
A Nigerian artist is generating buzz with his computer-generated works. Malik
So now, it is stopped here, because this was an AI project. Now we have real elders on real fashion shows all over the world. We've had some in Amsterdam, in Milan, we had two in Lagos, Nigeria, and we have another one this November in Barcelona, Spain. I would have never thought, ever, that I'll be doing this. Because I'm a storyteller, yes, but I'm not a fashion designer. I've never done a runway show. But this unlocked a new avenue for me. It unlocked something new for me. That it's now an IP. It's now something that it's traveling all over the world. We're celebrating the elders. We're celebrating fashion. We're celebrating the essence of being Black, being African as well. It's I can keep going. But the great thing about this now is when we have fashion shows, we don't just, for instance, everything here that was created was co-created with artificial intelligence. So I co-created this thing with artificial intelligence, that we produce it in Lagos, Nigeria, and we showcase it on the fashion and we sell them. So this is the symbiosis of the digital collaboration that I use AI for, and it keeps going because, for instance, each of these looks can be iterated to 100, 1,000 different looks if I wanted, because AI is that powerful. So yeah, that's my mother, by the way. Unfortunately, she passed away, but with AI, I was still able to put her on the fashion runway, and I'm sure she's proud of me. This is just a random example that went viral also on Instagram, just to put people in spaces you don't want to see them. And I want to just speak about some real-world use cases that I use AI for, commercially, because people have this perception that AI it's stealing people's jobs, it's unethical, but I always tell people that it is just a tool, and if you use it as a tool, as a co-creator, you're unstoppable. One of the projects that I worked on is for Marvel Studios a couple of years ago. It's going to be in production next year. Was Blade, and we worked for 6 weeks creating the art direction, the costumes, the looks for him, for the vampire, so we could see the film before it was even shot. We could go on set before we even go and shoot anything, and that was powerful for us. And normally, it used to take them longer for concept, for previs, but this took us just 6 weeks. Another is a film in Nigeria. They wanted to do a cast reveal, but they couldn't get all the actors in one space to create something. They wanted something sci-fi. So we used AI to create that cast reveal, showing Nigerian actors in spaces, just, all of that. Another way we use this is for Bombita. If you've seen Bombita, I'm sorry to tell you, those people are not real. We used AI to create the characters, and I licensed each character to Cadbury, a 15-year license to Cadbury. So this is another way of co-creating, and this was done 2 years ago. But I didn't let people know it was AI until last year, because I had photographers coming for me saying I'm stealing their jobs, until I explained, until I explained that it is just a tool. And if you add this to your current pipeline of working with your current traditional ways, you're powerful. Because now you can, if I wanted to film in a private jet or in a hangar or on a yacht or something, and it's expensive, I need licenses, I need a bunch of things. But with AI, I can just create that with the same character, human beings, live action, and have a hybrid production with that. This was in Cannes last year, where IBM wanted to recreate history for the Beatles, showcasing what would it like. There's a song called Here Comes the Sun. What if there was no sun? What if the weather was different? Would there be the song? There was an exhibition there that we did. It was 8 of us in the world showcased in Cannes. Another way that I use it for, because I shoot TV commercials as well, is storyboarding. And normally it could take a day or two sometimes to film a commercial, but now, because of AI, I could create the entire storyboard. I could animate the storyboard to show exactly what I want to see, how I want to film, the angles I want to use. I could put the actor in that space as well, with the costume, showcasing what the lighting should be like, what the costume should be like, even before I film. And that was amazing, because normally it would take us longer, but it took us just 5 hours to shoot this commercial. This is the commercial we shot.
It's also about nourishing body. With my Zevit morning pill provides 25 essential vitamins, minerals, and amino acids. With the tap of my phone, I can verify the quality and the supply source of my Zevit. Zevit by night ensures 24-hour protection for my body.
This was
I trust
the
my health with Zevit.
quickest commercial I ever shot, because we knew exactly what we wanted to do before we even went on set. The talent was happy because she could see everything. So that was really amazing. And I feel like this just is the best for us, because now we can lower the barrier for creative people. You don't have to go through many things to try to create something. You have the tool in front of you. If you want to pitch, if you want to previs, if you want to create a film, for instance, a short film, yes, you can do that with AI, and you can do that ethically as well with AI without stealing anybody's data, because now there's a chance for you training your own data sets, to get exactly what you're trying to create. This is a use case. I was thinking about a black sci-fi film. How is it possible? Let me don't think about it, let me just do it. So this is like a Yoruba sci-fi film. And the way this was achieved was with motion capture, not just prompts. So look at that. That was the actor. You could play it. So just one person was, I used just one actor for all the voices, because I was just experimenting. Because you can use AI to change your voice to any cadence, to anything that you want, to any accent that you're trying to create. So that's what's possible in the future as well. This was a pitch for an anthology series. It's going to be live action, but I wanted to pitch. But I said, why can't I just write it, let me create it so I can show you. Let me go back and play it.
If you are watching this, then you have crossed over to the Twilight Zone.
He's waking up. Time on quick.
I rebuke you! I rebuke you!
be the one to have to tell you this.
When last were you afraid?
That's going to production next year. Well, it's live action, it's not going to be AI. Another way was, I was thinking about, I love painting, I paint as well, but I wanted to see how my paintings could move, how about I animate. So I felt I could just do something like dystopian Lagos, if you know what Lagos is like, this was the result that came out. Just a new one. So, if you, as old as I am, you remember Checkmate. Checkmate is a classic Nigerian series between 1991 and 1994 by Amaka Igwe. So I was thinking, what if we could bring back our old, content series films using AI, so we don't lose them. Like this is an actor, R&D. That version of R&D is also artificial intelligence. But I felt that let's see what we could do to restore this thing. We could turn it into an animation. We could turn it into another live action, photorealistic image, video using AI. And this was just an experiment that I did as well. Okay, play it. It's not playing, but yes. So what happened is this is video to video, having a video and using another video to convert it to whatever you want to do, capturing all the interactions, all the expressions, voice, and all of that. Yes, so AI can also help digitize, archive, and even reimagine traditional stories, languages, and cultural aesthetics. Great for passing knowledge across generations in fresh and modern format. And I explained that as well with the next project that I'm going to show you. Now, going back to the Elder series, I want you to know that AI, yes, as you see, was trained on data from the global north, mostly, not the global south. We need to understand that that means that it's biased against Africans. So when I was trying to create the Elder series, I was getting very morphed and impoverished images. I was seeing Africa and Africans like we were poverty-stricken and all of that. Then I went back into history, the history of photography in Africa. And I realized it was not for artistic reasons, it was for colonial reasons. This is how pictures were taken in the 18th century. These are chiefs and people that work in the royal family. But look at, they are numbered. And the pictures are taken like they're prisoners. Yeah? And this is a problem because stock imagery right now was also trained on this type of narrative. AI was trained on this type of narrative. Whether we like it or not, that's the problem that led me to the next project that I was doing. This is one of the photographers. They're like very, very proud of this work, taking images of us like this. Or another one. This is in the cellar. Let me just move on from there. This is stock imagery, Shutterstock, and all I needed to search for was an African kid. I did not say African. I didn't say poverty-stricken African kid, I just wrote African kid, and this is what I got. This is an AI software called Midjourney, and I just put African kids in the city, and this is what I got. That's how biased the images are, yeah? This is another example. African kid, this is everything. So I have to train my own data sets for it to step away from this and show what really happened, and that's what happened with the Elder series as well. And that led me to start to create my own large language model. So 6 months ago, I embarked on the journey to start my own process of owning technology. Because I go around the world, I do keynotes, I talk about technology a lot. But I find out most of the time I'm not the only Nigerian in the room sometimes, I'm the only African in the room sometimes. And when we talk about this thing, we're always talking about amplifying Western technology. We never talk about owning our own technology in Africa, because now our data is not controlled by us. And even if we want to control our data, where is the data? I'm not talking about what's online. There are many things that are not even captured. There are many things that have not even been documented, which is a problem. So I started creating the African large language model from scratch. I go to physical spaces to scan, capture, collect, and use that to train, refine LLMs from scratch. Yes, we don't have data centers yet, but so let me start with the data. I was in Ikorodu somewhere in Nigeria last month, and I didn't even know there were 7 monarchies there. I'd never heard that. Like I wasn't taught that in school, so I was there to capture artifacts, to get oral histories as well from the kings, from everybody there, just to train large language models. That is going to go across board, all over Nigeria as well, to get to 3 billion data parameters, so I could actually have our own products. So if we have our own technology, our own AI, our own systems, we start to innovate for Africa. We start to solve problems, not just in the creative space, in the finance space, in the medicine space, everything, because now we are doing things that has our actual data. Imagine a village in Kenya, for instance, could have 200 different languages. But those languages are not captured because they only capture the popular ones, like in Nigeria, Igbo, Yoruba, Hausa, but there's more. We have more tribes, we have more languages as well, so we have to do that. So that's why I started this as well. This is part of the results from trying to capture African data, African skin, and amplifying it, enhancing it as well. It's a long journey, it's a lot of money, but we'll get there. Another way that I use AI is a project that I call the Legacy Link. These are real people, by the way. So I interview people that are aged 80 and above to find out what life was like 60 years ago in correlation to what life is like today, in projection to what life will be in 60 years to come. And I use everything that I get from them to create like a digital twin. I train large language models so you can ask them questions and they can respond to you. So the reason why I'm doing this is to make our ancestors, for the first time in our lifetime, available. Like we get to meet our ancestors, the next generation gets to meet their ancestors, and that's never happened before. Another way that I use AI is a project that I call Rememory. So there are a lot of historical sites that are lost through war, through what's the word I'm looking for? Natural disasters, lack of maintenance, a lot of that. So we don't even, and if they're lost, sometimes we don't even learn about them. I learned about the Great Wall of Benin when I was 30 years old. That is crazy. Due to my own research, I wasn't taught that in school as well. So I'm using AI, 3D, and virtual reality to reimagine historical sites that are lost. I'm not stopping at historical sites. I'm also, restoring lost languages, lost cultures, symbols, everything that has to do with that space. And within that as well, things like communal living, architecture, what is lost in the past, why modern houses were built, and a bunch of things. Bring that back and understand where we're coming from and where we should be going as well. So yes, the power of compelling stories can transform the world, like it's done to myself. So let us tell and create intentional stories. Thank you very much.